Welcome back to the Down the Middle podcast, Battlers. It's Joel and H. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're listening. H Moore, how are you?
I'm very good, thanks. Back to the normal program of the two of us.
This recording on a Tuesday night. I think I like Tuesday night.
Yeah, I had the family over, so that's why. And then the girlfriend wasn't here, so I was like, "Yep, Tuesday night, knock it in this
That
week,
works.
get it done." I've got a busy rest of the week, so yeah, took the opportunity and ran with it. But I'm going
I
good,
like
mate.
it. You got that
How are
green
you?
jersey. You got that green jersey on tonight again. No one guessed it the other week.
Yeah, I got the green jersey on.
We
I'll
did
even
have
give
a.
it more of a hint.
Ooh.
If
We
anyone
had
can
a
then,
comment on YouTube. There is one battler out there that knows it, but I think that's because he used to live in the same house as you and he's got the same jersey.
yeah, I would
So
probably guess that is correct.
he did say, I'm not going to guess because I definitely know it. So if you know the jersey though, Battlers, reach out because I didn't. So anyway, I'm going good, mate. Just swimming carnival today. Actually, I was out at swimming carnival today. Got saturated standing in the rain, so that was really fun.
That little 3 hour period, well, it was a 3 hour period at my work. I'm not quite sure, obviously, what it was sort of like here, but
Yeah, about 12:30 to 2:30. I was standing out in the rain, just getting drenched. All the kids
down
just, yeah, Camden Pools.
there.
All the kids got scared, started ringing mums and dads, come pick them up. I had to stand there and just direct traffic. No one was allowed to sign
Yeah,
out without bloody signing things and doing it. So it was like, I'm on
yeah,
the megaphone going, Hayden Moore, your mum's at the front gate. Hayden Moore, your mum's at the front gate. Little kids
yeah.
running up. Anyway,
And then
so
bang.
I was really happy about that. But anyway, um, big episode. Oh, we're bringing back Maury's sport fact. What do you got?
Mate, done some deep dive like I usually do with all the information that I put out on this podcast. Um, I've got a good fact here. Unfortunately, in the fact, it doesn't give me what Olympics it was from.
Okay.
But it was when Usain Bolt won the 100-meter sprint in the Olympic final. He only ate chicken nuggets from McDonald's during the Olympics, as he didn't want to risk getting an upset stomach from the local cuisine. Sorry. So I'd have to go back and research what
Beijing 2008 maybe is what the first thing on YouTube on
cuisine,
Wikipedia is telling me. A
and
total
then
of
what.
1,000 chicken nuggets throughout the games.
Okay, well there you go. There you go. Even more. You've put more facts into it.
I like
But
that though.
I've seen that, and I was like, how crazy is that? Like, chicken, like out of everything, chicken nuggets.
You know what? That's a real kick in the guts for all the sports scientists out there and for people
Oh,
like me, all the PDHPE teachers going, look, Macca's is only a sometimes food. Well, Olympic champion, world record holder, fastest man on the planet, Usain Bolt. That's what he was living off for the Beijing Olympics. Wow.
there you
Maybe
go.
I tell you what, for all the mums and dads out there with little kids, next time your kid wants chicken nuggets, you know what? They're getting chicken nuggets.
Give him a 24 pack, and then an hour later, go, you're running 100 meters. Get out there.
Let's go sprint training up and down the
Right.
street. Oh, that's good.
So, yeah, I'll have another one. I got about 4 or 5 there, so we'll be
Okay.
locked and loaded for the next couple of weeks.
A little bank of facts building up.
And going insane by the past week, mate, as people would have seen on the social media, and it was mentioned last week, the boys were going on a fishing trip. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it because I had other prior commitments. But mate, tell us. Well, everyone knows how the results went, but just tell us how the day went, mate.
Fishing trip was pretty good, mate. Early
It
start.
looked good.
I was up about 4:45. KT picked me up. Picked up BJ. BJ was on time, funnily enough, which was nice. Down to Wingdang. First cast in the water by about 20 past 6, which was pretty good. And then it was on. Bit of banter before we started talking about bait versus plastics. The group was really divided. One young man in particular, a very close friend of ours, potentially one of the podcast hosts, was very much a plastics guy, not touching bait, don't like it on my hands, I'm not doing anything. I had a kilo of prawns, some squid, and some tuna in the esky, so I'm a bait man. I was doing it. Funnily enough, plastics didn't catch a fish. Didn't catch a fish that day. The bait caught
like
everything.
plastics would have to be a place and a time, I reckon. I like both, but I would probably do a bit of where you are kind of thing, I reckon.
I think plastics is a research type of setup. You've got
I think more ocean, more
yeah.
deep dive, I think.
I
But
was
if you're going
thinking
off,
if we were out in the boat, out in the
yeah,
middle, plastics could have, or maybe a freshwater rivery type setup. Maybe, I don't know. Look, bait's a pain in the ass to try and, you got to rehook every time. You get a couple of nibbles. But at one stage, so KT caught the first one, and look, battlers, we're not catching big ones. They were this big. I'll happily put my hand up. They were this big. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, not keeping, no non-keeping fish.
Nothing was going in the bag. Nothing was coming home with us. But at one stage, KT went prawn, reel one in, throw it back, prawn back on, out, reel it in, throw it back out, prawn, throw it back. 3 in a row, three from 3 casts. We were on fire. 15 little fish over 3-4 hours. I got 6 fish and an octopus. I was pretty happy with that. I half thought about keeping the octopus, but nah, octopus are a bit freaky, a bit weird. And then 4 fish. Shout out to BJ. He will listen to this. He literally caught a fish about this big. I don't know how he possibly got it on the hook. He ended up keeping it on there, throwing it back out as bait. And it came off. But successful. Let us know, battlers. Are you a plastics person or are you a bait person? I'm a bait. It's gross, but I don't know. Something about using another animal to catch an animal that, I don't know, gets me.
Well, unfortunately, it's used in a lot of different ways as well, unfortunately, and 9 times out of 10, it comes off pretty successful.
The only time I ever use like a lure or is to catch squid. That's about the only time I've used it. Otherwise, I always put a bit of fish or crustacean on the end of the hook and go from there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're going to go again soon. Not sure, we haven't locked in a date, but we're going to go again soon.
Yep.
Hey, you didn't come because you were golfing. Another tournament, another win. It's just what you do.
That's it, mate. Me and Uncle Brian, mate, we pulled off the upset and from rank number 7, knocked off number 2 seed.
I like that.
3-2. You'd be happy about this. I don't think I told you on. We're never down, so we're never in a position to actually.
I have to come from behind. Nice.
So it actually, where we're winning the whole match, I would actually go to. We won the first hole and it never got back, or it got back to even, but it never got back. Pretty much, we'll never in a position that we were chasing.
Nice. That's a stat. That's a very good stat.
So, yeah. So it's very good. This week, Brian actually probably saved me more than I saved him. I picked up in the holes when he had a bad one. When he sort of had a bad one, I had a good hole. So then it sort of kept us in that hole. But definitely, Uncle Brian got the award of player of the match.
But he's got to fix his chipping.
He just needs to chip, actually, not fix it. He needs
to work it out.
To fix something, you got to actually do it.
I'll have a word to him. I'll look through my calendar. I'll go out to his place one day soon, and we'll do some chipping practice on the back lawn. He's got enough room. We'll do some. You know what I used to do as a kid? Get the umbrella out, or get a bucket out, and just chip to the umbrella. Maybe I'll get him sorted with
I don't know how we'll go this week, but
So you're back on this week, or you have a week in between?
yep, back on this week.
Jeez.
We're versus third seed. Um, he's a 3 handicapper with a 29 handicapper. So
It's a lot of
the
shots for that.
3 handicappers use the 29 handicapper to get into the event.
Mm.
And then them boys won 7 and 6 on the week. So yeah. And
Oh,
the bloke, the 3 handicapper played yesterday and shot 1 under. So yeah.
40 points for a 3
40 points.
handicapper. Nice. Okay. Yeah, good.
So I would say at this time recording next week, we'd probably be out. I think me and Brian are going to have to play the best 18 holes of our life, I reckon, to
Look, you know what? We might not have enough time on the podcast to discuss it next week anyway. We got a big episode coming.
yeah,
So
I think it might just be a result.
it
One
might
loss,
not hurt if you've
bang.
lost, and we can just brush straight over it. If it's a win, we'll make a little window. But if it's a
We'll
loss,
just
that's
do a
okay.
2-minute.
We can brush over it.
100%. But yeah.
Oh, mate, that's good. You guys love a team event. I love it.
Yeah. Well, now that you're no longer a member and Shane's no longer a member, we've lost our partners. So then we've joined forces. So in the play for your fees, 2-man Ambrose, alternate shots, bang.
Yeah, that's
We'll
true.
we'll be together.
Maybe Shane and I should come back and play together.
Yeah, unless BJ wants to team up sometimes, if Brian wants to team up with someone else. But
No, he needs to do some work. He's just had a lesson.
Well,
He needs to do some work.
yeah, he needs to get 1 or 2 more lessons, get in there, keep practicing. Got the lesson from the local Stu Miani. So yeah.
We'll see. All right. Footy over the weekend. It was good. I've reinstated my KO membership just for a month. They gave me a free month. They knew they could get me back with a free month. So I've reinstated for a couple of weeks, and we'll just see.
They must have sent it out to the Dragons fans. Go, you got new coach, new year.
Well, funny because KT didn't get a message. I was talking to him about it. I said, "Oh, yeah, I'm going to sign back up to KO so we can watch all the trial games." He goes, "Oh, yeah, fair enough." I said, "Yeah, I got a free month offered to me." He goes, "What do you mean? I didn't." So I don't know. They just offered it to me. He was filthy. He's like, "Hang on, okay, let's do the maths. When did you cancel your thing?" I said, "I don't know, probably at I said probably finals time because everything's then on Channel 9." He goes, "Oh, it would have been the same. How come I didn't get the free month?" I said, "I don't know, mate. They just sent me the text message, so I'm doing it."
They know Tigers got no hope. But
Yeah, they know that. They probably looked at the draw. Tigers are all on Channel 9 on a Sunday arvo. Anyway,
100%.
run
Mate,
us through.
I'll flick through the results. We won't talk about them because half the games after 40 minutes, good people, good players were gone. So yeah, we'll just breeze through it. As we said on last week's episode, mate, the Bulldogs winning 24-12 against the Storm.
Yep.
The Knights smashing my Sharkies 44-18.
I think that hurts a bit. We'll move on.
Not much. Looked at the teams, didn't think anything of it. The Roosters 36-22 against Manly. That was probably more predicted. They had a stronger team. The Eels losing 38-16 to the Raiders. That's probably a bit more of a surprising one.
Good result for the Raiders. Pardon me.
Yeah. But I think this was probably even a bigger result as even I talked up the Dragons last week, mate, with the Bunnies winning 28-6 in the Community Shield.
Charity Shield,
what do I say? Community Shield. Charity Shield.
Right.
Yeah.
Completely different side in the second half. I'm going to make excuses for him, but poor to only score 1 try. Very, very poor with the changes that have been made. Very, very poor.
Definitely. The Tigers winning 18-16 against the Warriors.
Surprising.
I think false hope. I think the Broncos winning 46-20 against the Cowboys. I don't think that's too surprising as obviously Brisbane, that was their last trial game before Vegas. So I think they probably would have went a bit more full strength. And the Dolphins rounding off the round 1 trials with winning at 26-17 to 14 against the Titans.
Good for the Dolphins, I think. Good start.
I think they would need a bit of momentum there, I think.
Hang on. So the Broncos get points this week as a bye for the
Yeah, I would say so.
I almost feel like that's so stupid.
Well, five of them, sorry, will have the bye. 'Cause Penrith's in England, and then you got the 4 other teams.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Actually, no, you got Bunnies and Roosters playing each other this week.
Yeah, no, Broncos are playing this week. Sea Eagles and Bunnies Roosters play. So it's only Penrith that are out of it because they're doing the World Club Challenge.
But you look at these teams, and
anyway, let's go through these teams for this week, for the second week. Because we've got another little segment that we're going to do after this, after we look at some of these teams. But the Roosters team's completely different this week. I guess they don't really care about winning the challenge. They're obviously focused on, like you said, getting over to Vegas and sorting that out.
I think they're leaving tomorrow morning. I think the 30 minutes ago will leave tomorrow.
So to be honest, like I can't even look at the Roosters and the Rabbits because they're 2 reserve grade sides. It's just there.
I feel like that's a complete wipe, to tell you the truth, just because it's in the situation.
Yeah. So whatever. I won't be able to make much out of that game at all, if I'm honest. So I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yep.
You got the next one?
I do, mate. My Sharkies versus the Dog. I feel like we verse these guys every preseason. Both sides have pretty much gone full strength.
Yeah, I was going to say that's pretty full strength. You still got that?
I look at that, and maybe 1 or 2 from the Dogs. But I don't know if they're trying to try people out in new positions. But
who do you reckon?
Looking at the teams, the number 10, Hosa.
Farmer Sulai.
And
he was at Dragons for a little
Salmon
while.
at 13 as well. I don't know. I think that's a bit more of a trial, sort of with the combination, I think. But other than that,
what will he play, do you think?
Well, I thought he would play 14, but you got Kurt Mann on the bench there. I thought Curran would play a bit more 13, but
yeah, okay. Jeez, okay. Look at this Dog side. So they have signed Jamin Salmon. They've Pawasa Famasuli, not much about him. They got Drew Hutchison, they got Stephen Crichton, Bronson Sherry. I don't know Blake Wilson. They brought Blake Taff over, Kurt Mann, Josh Curran. Far out. Like Toby Sexton is on the reserves. I actually thought Toby Sexton would maybe start before Drew Hutchison.
Well, he was a bit in and out last year for the Dogs as well, sort of coming in, coming out. But yeah, just and going back on my Sharks, the only thing I don't like is Fitzy. He's sticking with Talakai in the centre. I just don't want that. I just put Iro in there and just see how he goes for 3 weeks. If it doesn't work, then go back to Talakai. You know what I mean? Like
your 1 to 17 is actually probably what you would. That actually is first. That's your first grade side, isn't it?
Pretty.
Yeah, it is. I think
pretty much. Maybe Finucane is not there.
Oh yeah. Okay, sure.
I think that's but 1. That's the only 1.
This will be a good test. I think this is a week where, some of those combinations need to start firing. Trindle and Hines played together last week in the Indigenous, yes?
Yep.
So
you got
man in the match. So that's probably something pretty good to bring back. To be honest, that could be one of the better games to watch on Friday night. I like that. I'll be having that on the TV.
Yep, definitely. Same.
Sharky, well, obviously you will. Sharky's by 6.
1 to 12.
Okay. Nice.
Moving on, for the first Saturday game, mate. Storm versus Knights. Another one. I feel like most games this week will be
Pretty full strength.
pretty full strength, except for the Vegas teams and Penrith teams. Yeah, not too much to talk about really, because we sort of don't want to deep dive too much into what we sort of got planned for next week. But yeah, pretty much full strength, both sides. I think Knights come away with the win.
Yeah, okay. There's probably a couple of Storm players further down on that reserves list that are probably pushing for a spot. I think most of those players in the 1 to 13 were starters from last year. Kane Bradley is a name that I don't necessarily recognise at number 11.
Yeah.
But I think that backline, especially 1 to 5, maybe not 1 for Pappenhausen, but 2 to 5, all of those guys I think have their job on the line, because there is some other guys that have played a little bit that could potentially push them out. So yeah, I reckon watch this space if anyone has a bad. And Jonah Pezzett too. Jonah Pezzett's got to try and push to be that first drop half.
Or maybe,
obviously, Munster.
Or maybe try and get on the 14, try and get the 14 jumper.
Try and get the 14 jumper. Yeah. So yeah. So again, that'll be a pretty good game to watch too. 1:45 on Saturday. At where? Lautoka. Churchill Park. Lautoka's.
I'd probably say New Zealand. I would probably take a good.
I thought Lautoka was in Fiji. Top of my head. It is. Lautoka is in Fiji. I've been to Lautoka.
That's a pull out of you, mate. There you go. Well done.
It's an absolute shithole. All respect to Lautoka in Fiji, but
I'm just giving you credit, and you're going shit.
I went over there. I went over there when I was in uni to do some teaching. Far out, pretty dodgy. Oh, look, pretty nice. Like Fiji's nice, but
that got me.
Churchill Park. I don't remember where Churchill Park was. Tell you what, dirt poor over there in Lautoka. The poor, like, yeah, geez, it's poor, real poor. I tell you what, kids are lovely. Kids were lovely. They just
keep kicking them, mate. Keep kicking them.
It's just facts. It's just facts, mate. It's just facts. Let's look at Warriors and Dolphins, eh?
Yes. Another one, pretty much full strength there. Looking at 1 to 7, full strength. 8 to 13, full strength. New addition. Kurt Capewell.
Murray Martin named on the extended bench, which is interesting for the Warriors.
Well,
Chanel Harris Tavita as well. I like him to get a spot,
there's
please.
news that he might be out, Chanel.
Have you heard himself?
There is, there's some little things going around, but
there goes my cheapie from the other week.
Yeah, that's the first thing I actually thought about when I sort of seen that. I went, ooh. But
Jake Averillo named on the interchange bench for the Dolphins. Interesting. I suppose that's just a big extent.
You've got Tuare there as well. Tuare, he's at centre as well. He's on the bench. Yeah, obviously Tessinu had a good game last week. Bostock had a good game. So obviously I think
they're locked in just about.
Them four boys are fighting for 2 positions. So I don't know if it's to a 40 minute cameo halves each, and
potentially.
But I'd probably edge the Warriors.
Yeah, I think just they're in Auckland. Yeah.
Then this is another game that we don't really need to do anything about because it's a Manly versus Broncos. Both teams going to Vegas. Just that's another one from earlier. Just through that. And then we got the Battle of the Wooden Spoons, Dragons versus Tigers, mate.
Piss off.
This is one at Mudgee. So this is
yeah, I know. I know.
This one at Jubilee and take the Charity Shield up to Mudgee, you know?
I thought the same thing. They always go to Mudgee for the charity shield. Anyway,
It's a very nice ground. It's a very nice ground, the Glen
Green
Willow.
Willow. Have you been there?
I have been there. Could become my local in 30 years. You just never know.
That's true.
Um,
Once your land's finally allowed to be built on.
yeah, exactly right.
When did you go there? Who'd you watch? We just went over there
When I went over there, when I went there,
to
I just
look.
drove past it. Yeah, had a
Okay.
look. I think it was the week before when Souths actually take the game up there
Oh
at the
yeah,
end of the year.
yeah,
So I think the ground was looking pretty schmick. Because
yeah.
obviously for preparation.
Fair enough.
Back to this game, mate. This is another one looking at the sides.
Tell you what,
Pretty stacked.
I think the Tigers win, which hurts to say that. After last week, it's the
Um,
exact same side
well,
that's been named.
so that's 1 to 13 or a little bit different.
No,
You know what,
I think that's exact same.
mate? I'm backing you. I'm backing the Dragons. Backing the Dragons.
Or
Because I think
well, you know what? Well, I
that
think that
forward pack is not that bad. Bellin, Stewart, Laurie, they're three good forwards for you boys, and yeah, I
Francis
think they can get
Milo's
a
all
job.
right. Awesome. You know what? If as long as if Flano controls the interchange better, where it's not just, hey, let's just take a heap of blokes off and put a heap of the young blokes on just to see how they're going. This is a game that they can win. If they're happy, obviously not winning the challenge and just going, I've seen enough. Let's put, that's the thing with trial games. Every time is that, are you going out there to fully dominate and to play your first string team and to smash it and to do all that stuff? Or are you going out there and going, hey, Jacob Little, I know you're going to be our 80-minute hooker, but I only need you to play 45, 50 minutes, because what I'm actually going to do is get Connor Mullison to go on and play 30 minutes, because I need him to get his 30 minutes is more important than you playing 80. Because I know you, the Connor Mullison, number 19,
But you
he'll
got the
probably
Mashek on the bench.
Marsh. Yeah, I think he's more of a half,
Yeah.
if I'm honest. I
Okay.
think he's
Okay. Yep.
potentially fighting Kyle,
Okay.
or going to be a Ben Hunt replacement when Ben Hunt goes and plays Origin. But like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It
Yeah. Yeah.
is one of the young blokes 30 minutes more important than one of the definites playing 80? Sometimes it can be.
100%. I think it is 100%.
So
100%.
again, I don't. It doesn't really matter whether you win or lose a trial game. At the end of the day,
If
we are
you
they are playing for
if you
money
get
now. But
if you get done what you wanted to get done out of that match, it's a win. It
yeah,
doesn't matter about the result.
that's so. I could honestly see this game going both ways. I'm with you. I thought last week was a must win because it's for the charity shield. I thought that's where you go out and you play your best string side for 65 minutes and you've got
Yeah.
15 minutes to play with. Whereas this week against the Tigers, just go and do whatever. And if you win, you
The
win.
one
If you lose, you
thing
lose.
the one thing I will say is if Lomax at wing doesn't work again, you got to scrap it. Scrap it before the season. Don't go into the season with it. If
Yep.
it doesn't work, scrap it now.
That's about
Don't
the
just.
only thing I'd like to
I just
see.
hate it.
He's not a winger.
He's a good footballer, but he's just. And Flano's the bloke to get him locked in. He
Yeah.
hasn't been locked in footy, and I think he's the coach to do it.
Yeah.
When we won the comp in 2016, he got a lot of them young boys to focus for a whole year.
Yeah.
And I think he can get Dragons into it if they believe with him.
I'm really surprised that Volano as a coach has prioritised Jack Bird going back to centre and pushed Lomax to the wing. I know there's obviously a spot that's opened up because Finai is not that good, but I'm surprised that he prioritised Bird to go to the centre rather than sort out Lomax's position, because Bird can still play second row. Yeah. I reckon Tyrell Sloan's got one half before I push him to the wing and put Lomax to the back.
That's what I would do in the second half. But this is another little, obviously, it's a big what if because Unfortunately, he hasn't played all last year as well, Cody Ramsey.
Mm.
If he was fully fit, say nothing happened with him, would he be at fullback? Then Lomax still in the centres, Sloan on the wing, and they probably would never have signed Kyle Flanagan, maybe. That's what I'm thinking.
Why?
Well,
Do you think
because
Bird would play 6?
maybe Sloan goes into the halves with Hunt and then put Lomax.
Nah, I don't think Sloane's got halves. Oh, nah.
Yep, no, that's right. I'll be for it. Like a bang, throw it out there.
I don't think he has the creativity and the make things happen. He's
Yep.
just more of a runner.
Fair enough.
But I think Cody Ramsey getting sick was a big one. That
Yeah,
threw everything out.
or he would be such a good player under Flano.
Cody Ramsey doesn't get sick. Bud Sullivan probably still there playing halves.
Yeah,
Potentially. Anyway, whatever. Tigers will probably go well this week. I would imagine with that side. Justin Olam, did Justin Olam play last week?
I'm not quite sure.
Can't remember. Be interesting to see how he goes this year at the Tigers. Spoiler.
But moving on, mate. Raiders versus Cowboys. Looking at the sides, a couple little changes, I think, from the Raiders. But looking at the Cowboys side is pretty stacked. 113, I would presume, and even one. Well, sorry, I'd even go 1-17 actually.
Lots more in for the Cows this week compared to last week's side.
Yep, definitely. A couple little changes here and there for the Raiders. I think that's just Ricky Stewart trying to test out his young guys, see who's ready and not ready. And it's probably a good matchup to do it against the Cowboys. But in that game, I'd probably be kicking the Cowboys.
Yeah. So Ricky's still got KO Weeks and Ethan Strange in the halves. He's moved Chevy Stewart out and put Albert Hopewadi at the back.
So Chevy Stewart's not even in the 17. He's 18th man. He's put Asuma in the wing. You probably give him a bit of a go.
I need to pick my SuperCoach team. I need these frigging coaches to.
Oh, don't worry, mate. A lot of people sort of have thrown their ideas out the window from these week's trials, but you can't go off until the first week.
I've got to wait till next Tuesday. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've spent all my cash in SuperCoach, but I got to just wait till next Tuesday because I could be ripping 6 or 7 people out and changing around. So anyway,
I'd probably say you will be.
Yeah,
but yeah,
Cows will win that. Cows will win that.
And then moving on to the last game, Titans versus Eels. This is another sort of little mixed bag for the Titans. I think sort of the fullback, not really the fullback. But then other than that, both sides pretty much 1-17, except the fullback, in my opinion, for the Titans. Obviously, Jaden Campbell is injured, so he probably would have been the fullback. But yeah,
Eels probably do a number on the Titans with that one. I would think. AJ Brimson playing at centre to allow Tanner Boyd to play at 7.
Well, I don't know if it was Tanner Boyd or Jaden Campbell.
Preston making a comeback 20 years after his retirement. Welcome back, Preston. Actually, AJ's probably more of a fullback. Interesting. You know what? I think AJ Brimson probably be a great centre, but I don't know if it's his preferred position.
Well, he said he's looking forward to it. So
okay. Look, I like AJ Brimson. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And you know what? If I think Des is good enough of a coach that if he come up to you and said, "Hey, listen, Maury, I'd like you to play this position," you'd go,
"Yeah,
sure," because it's not a what am I going to do? I'll put him in there. It's a I've identified something about you, and I
Yep,
think you would suit this position, and this is the job that I need you to do. Go and do it for me. Yeah,
I understand.
that's not a bad idea. Anyway, well, be a
But
good little matchup.
I agree with you, mate. I think Para get the job done in that match.
Yep, definitely. All right. What else did you want to do this week, mate? This is your segment.
Mate, yeah, I did. We went sort of with last week plays to watch. So we're going to pretty much do the exact same thing, but flip it the other way and go the most. And this way can go a couple different ways to what you think is the most player under pressure. There's a couple ways of to perform, to keep a contract, or to just keep playing footy throughout the year. And coach, I put in coach as well. So if sometimes I feel like in some of these clubs that there's a coach under more pressure than players that I could think of.
You like talking about coaches under pressure.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah,
We're gonna
mate,
go alphabetical, aren't we?
yes, I was about to say yeah, we're gonna go alphabetical order, and the first club is the Brisbane Broncos, mate.
Oh,
Fire us
go
away
on.
with your. No, you want me to?
I want you to.
Right. Even though he's been offered a contract extension, I think Adam Reynolds is more the one of the guys under pressure. I
Yeah.
think he did a pretty good job last year, but they fell short. I think he went missing a little bit in the grand final, and I think obviously their ball mark is now to go on one place better, and I think Adam Reynolds is the most under pressure at the Brisbane Broncos.
How much long do you think he's got? Did they offer him an extension or they signed him for an extension?
I think they're in the works for another 2 years. So
Two.
I think he's probably only got 2 years in him, including this year.
Is he like
So
35 or something?
yeah, he's up there, 36.
36 and they want him for 2 more years. Can you
I could be
research that?
I could be absolutely bullshitting you there, but
Adam Reynolds, 33, so he would be
33.
anyway.
So he could be
Look,
there till 36.
no, that's old. That's old. It's
It
not
is
old,
old,
but it's old for a
old for footy.
professional football.
Mm.
I did hand that to you because he was probably on my list, but I also do have as a backup Katoni Staggs. For me, he needs to. He went all right last year. I'm not going to knock him too much, but he's
Needs
just
to
got to
focus.
get. That's it. He's got to put the blinkers on and get that job done.
Stop sucking toes. Get on footy.
Tony, he's got to get a job done. He maybe similar to Zach Lomax gets a bit flashy and gets a bit in his
Yeah.
own head and tries to do a little bit too much. I'd love to see him just be a really solid center, solidify his defense, be friggin' ruthless in defense, and then start scoring some more tries. To be honest, I'd love to see him back in like an Origin arena.
Well, obviously he played the one game last year and didn't have the best, and I think
I,
he's got to.
I don't think he was. I don't think he was there. I don't think he had it.
I don't think they were all there with
No,
the way
that's
we're
true.
going with the coaching. I think
That's true.
and players in and out.
Yeah,
But no excuse, obviously.
yeah.
But yeah,
But
I'll like that.
I think under pressure to just get his job done,
Yep,
and take it that one step further. Cool.
100%. Mate, next club, Canberra Raiders. I'll kick off once again.
Yeah,
I
go
think
on.
this is one of my coaches, Ricky Stewart. I think if he has
You
another,
fucking hate Ricky.
I fucking hate Ricky. I absolutely hate Ricky, and I hope that if they come bottom three, I reckon he deserves the fucking sack. Not should be fine for it. He deserves a sack.
You are hilarious.
That's my take.
You just want
Ricky.
him gone.
Yeah, I want him out of the NRL, mate. Just fucking get out of here.
Oh. I'm gonna go with Jamal Fogarty. Is he currently injured? Is that why he's not playing?
Second year at the club, or
This
think
will
so.
be this will be his
His
second.
second year.
I think this will be his second.
Yeah.
He's got a big
No
job to
Jack
do.
Whiten.
No Jack Whiten. They've got, again, they're playing with those combinations between KO Weeks, Chevy Stewart, who's the other bloke, Ethan Strange, to try and match up those spine spots.
Yep.
He's going to have a really big job to do in leading not only the whole side, but having a really young, inexperienced half probably partner him,
Mhm.
and then also be surrounded, in the spine as well. So I think under pressure, not as far as is his job at risk, but being put under pressure probably from the coaching staff, probably by the fans, probably by the rest of the squad to go, where are we taking this? Where are we taking this right now during this game? But where are we taking this throughout the whole season? So I think he's under probably most pressure as far as the playing group is concerned.
Yeah, good pick. Moving on, Canterbury Bulldogs, back-to-back coaches for me. I think Serrato. Serrato / Gus Gould, actually. I'll chuck you out
Gus,
there.
yeah,
Gould,
Gus, I think.
he always goes to these clubs, has these plans, does a good plan to implement them, but they just don't pay off. And as we've joked many times, they've got top 30 in each position. Um, they're the next Sydney Roosters, really, with the sombrero. There's no say crap over there because they can just sign. But yeah, I think if Serrato doesn't deliver, last year was a pass. First year didn't have. He signed a couple of players, but obviously it was for this year.
Mm.
Got him. He's got to hit the ground running. I think if they have a slow start, I think he might come under fire a bit earlier than people think.
Look, I think you're right. Gus Gould, he's selling this dream to, I think, the dogs fans, and probably the team. He's selling this like, yeah, we've got it sorted. Look who we're signing. People, and you know what? People are coming. People are
Yep.
actually coming. I'm looking through this list. This is a pretty good list of blokes. Josh Addo-Carr for the next 2 years, Matt Burton until 27, Crichton until 27, Josh Curran for 2 years, Kickout till 26, Reid Marnie for the next 3 years. Who else is pretty good? Toby Sexton's this year, Blake Taff for 2 years, Connor Tracy for 3 years. Like, it's a decent side. I'm going to go with another half, and simply because I think he's probably hasn't done as much since he's got to the Dogs. I'm going to go Matt Burton.
I thought of him and I went, oh, he's done good for the Dogs.
Yeah,
So
but
you that way you've gone good for the Dogs, but now it's more pressure to deliver. I feel like it.
pressure to deliver. I think
Yeah,
again that squad. What was the stat we looked at? We spoke about it in the last 3 years or something. There's no one from the top 30 from the last from 3 years ago that's still inside. It's a brand new side. I think the signing of Stephen Crichton potentially puts a little bit more pressure on Matt Burton as to how are you going to utilize this bloke.
yeah,
How is he going to be the X factor that you are going to bring into the game? That's where I'm going with pressure. How can you get this team of misfits moving forward? Because they haven't really
yeah,
moved forward since, the last couple of years.
definitely agree with you there. Moving on to next club, my beloved club, the Cronulla Sharks. I'm going down the same route you just went with Matt Burton. I'm going Nico Hines. It's his third year at the Sharks. He's taken us to the finals 2 times. Fortunately, we haven't won a finals game. So this year, the pressure's mounting. He's going, mate, I know that you're not the only player, but you're the big bucks.
Yeah.
He's got to step up now. I can give you a bit of a pass last 2 years because you come from fullback, off the bench from the Storm. Now it's like, mate, this is your third year full time halfback.
Yeah.
This is your team. You're a co-captain now. Set these boys down the field and let's get this shit going.
Yeah. I probably agree with you with Nico. But I also reckon, not as much, but Craig Fitzgibbon a little bit too.
Yeah,
When did he sign? When did he sign? 3 years ago? 2 years ago?
This is his
Third year.
Third year as well, yeah.
third year. And same thing, like me and you both, after 2 years ago, we predicted that last year they would be a premiership winning side and just crumbled. I think he needs to, whatever it is, create the push, get something happening, and get it.
Well,
Like
doesn't
they've got to come top 4, and I think they've probably got to make in a semi. I'd like to see them make a grand final.
love it. I would have to hit that. Oh,
Look, whether they win or not, but they've got to be making that top 4. That's got to be them.
if they make the grand final, I will have the busiest 2 weeks of my life. I would dead set, because the week before that I'm in New Zealand. I get back on the Friday or Saturday, the day before the grand final. If we make the grand final, you bet fucking believe I'm hopping off that plane, getting a good sleep, going to the game, and then we got our good mate's wedding
the next
2
week.
days after it.
Yeah, that's true.
2 days, 3 days.
You probably wouldn't make it.
Mate, if we win, holy shit, I'm drinking all the way to the wedding, at the wedding, after the wedding, have a weekend sleep. That is a dream scenario.
You're a muppet. Go the Sharks.
Probably not.
Probably
anyway,
not.
let's move on. Moving on to the Redcliffe Dolphins. I think it's a bit of a halves-themed evening tonight with these people. I've gone Milford. I don't think he'll get re-signed. I think he needs to have an absolute blinder to even get into the team, let alone get a contract. So I think that's a pretty easy. I couldn't really think of too many people there, because I want to go a bit more under the pressure to actually do something for the team. So yeah, I've gone Milford.
Who do I say? Herbie Farnworth, I think I said to you before, didn't I?
Just look, Jeremy Marshall King to.
That's right.
Yeah.
I actually really like Jeremy Marshall King, and he's a pretty good hooker.
So good.
I think he's really good. So again, like I think there's just that now that we talk about years under your belt. He's been up there. This is his 3rd year. I think let's go. You got to make that hooking spot yours, and again that leadership. Yeah, I just want him to take that next step. Next step. Yeah.
That's good. Moving on, Gold Coast Titans. I think David Fafita, I think he has these 4 weeks.
Yeah.
But then he had a quiet 3 weeks. He's another bloke. I don't want him to go good in Origin, but in the NRL season, I want him to go spectacular.
Yeah, I was gonna say Fafita / Fa'asu Mali.
I was going to say that as well.
Fa'asu Malu. Yeah, because exactly right. They go awesome. Like they'll score 2-3 tries between the 2 of them. They'll put these huge hits on. They'll stats wise or SuperCoach wise, they get all these points, and then the next game, Titans lose by 100 and they've gone missing. You're like, what the hell? And then they get picked for Origin and they play awesome. You're like, come on, mate, you got to do that for your bloody club side.
100%. So yeah, they're the 2 boys. I think they're pretty easy to pick. I think out of that. Moving on to the next team, the Manly Seagulls. I'd be pretty surprised if you have someone different than me.
Go for it.
Fullback.
No, I was going different. Different.
Okay, there you go. I think Tondra Vojovic, I think if he can play 5 games, that's a successful season. He's just got to stay. If he stays fit, they make finals. I said the exact same thing last year in our ladder prediction, and look what happened. He didn't stay fit, and they didn't make finals.
Fair.
It's an absolute thing. Same thing this year. I think if he plays under 10 games, I think you've got to really consider cutting ties with him.
He
I don't think they will, but
he signed on 1 point. He signed on 1.1, 24, 25, 26. Like, that's a lot of cash eaten up.
Well, mate, and they've had to give big contract. They gave big contracts out to
Homolo Olakawatu is on 900. Schuster is
Yep.
on 800.
Schuster,
Jakey's
yep.
950. Cherry
Cherry
Evans
Evans,
1.2. And the other one that's
Tommy.
documented, my pick for under pressure, the other one that's documented on Zero Tackle here is Luke Brooks on 700K a year. Oh my goodness.
Really?
He for me,
That can't be correct, surely. They didn't offer him 700K, did they?
that's what it's saying.
Wow.
That's my under pressure. He needs to prove that he was shit because he was playing in a shit team. That's all he needs to prove.
I really think he's actually going to have a good year.
He probably will. But I think that will only he can get that done in 4 games. If he has 4 decent games, he can pretty much put his middle finger up to everyone else and go, "I told you so." It wasn't me.
100%.
It was where I was. It was everything around. It was the environment. It was the board. It was the team. It was the whatever. He can just go, "I told you." It wasn't just me. That's my guy for this one.
100%. I like that one.
Nice.
Moving on, mate. Melbourne Storm. I've gone Cameron Munster. I think he needs to just. The boys have been doing good. They've been rolling, still making finals, still making prelims. I think it's just him. He's got to just put the team on his back and keep rolling. Really?
Yeah.
Not much else to say on that one for me.
Munster's biggest thing, I think, and I think we spoke about this, or at least I mentioned it. He's a bloke, especially in some of those bigger games, those must-win games.
He steps up.
Well, or he gets frustrated in the middle of the game, makes mistakes, and then at the 60-minute mark, 65-minute mark goes, fuck, I've got to make something happen. Does it all himself, and probably only 50-50 gets it done. You know, he doesn't always, because he's left it too late and he tries to do it all himself. So, yeah, I think he's under pressure. I've got Paps, similar to Tommy. He's under pressure just to stay fit and stay on that field. Now, under pressure, but like we said, this is sort of includes a lot of different things. He's under pressure to stay fit, stay on that field, because when he's not there, they actually do struggle a fair bit. Now, he's a big out, and he's an even bigger in, I think.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you can take these. We can say under pressure, but it doesn't mean under pressure to lose their job. It's more just there's so many different ways, as you said. You can put under pressure or just need to perform in different meanings.
Yeah.
So don't just listen to this and go, "Oh, these guys are idiots," because they're saying these names. You got to take them.
Well, we are idiots, but don't go too harsh.
Yeah, relax. Mate, moving on, New Zealand Warriors.
Yep.
I'm pretty much another turbo for me, Sean Johnson. I think he's just got to stay fit. I think there's a couple of young boys coming back, signings that, you got Lou Metcalf, Timmy Martin, Chanel, you got Roger there now. I think he's just got to stay fit. If he stays fit, I think they do well.
Yeah. So I'm going to go Roger. There's so much buzz around him. He's come back from Union. Like, he's under pressure to not, not just be a look at me signing.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it
at that.
Yep. Next team, mate, Newcastle Knights. I had high hopes for him this year, Jaden Brayley, and now he's actually injured, won't be playing any trials and racing to be fit for round 1. He's another one. He's just, since leaving my Cronulla Sharks, mate, I think he's had 1 season out of 3 or 4 how long he's been there. He can't stay fit. I don't know what they give him or what he does.
Some blokes it's just what happens.
The poor fella did back-to-back ACLs like a year apart. I get that, but that comes down to technique with things, or just is your body going to be able to hold up for the physical game, really?
Well, it is a very physical game, Hayden, from what they tell me. So some people just aren't cut from the right cloth, I think the expression is. Look, I'm going to go a little bit left field here. I'm going to go Dylan Lucas. Just noticed he started making the first string squad side last year a little bit, and I think he played quite well in the trial last week. I think he's probably trying to secure a second row spot in the Knights. So I'm going to say Dylan Lucas. That's
I
one that
like
you
that.
didn't expect, Battlers. Yeah, look at that. I've actually done a fraction of homework. So you can all fuck off.
I like that. I like that. Mate, moving on to the North Queensland Cowboys. My player is Jason Tamalalu.
Yep.
One that's obviously there's a little bit of talk that the Dragons sort of asked the Cowboys about a week and a half ago.
They said no.
What's the contract? Yeah, I think they gave him the 10 years, $10 million about 7 years ago. I would like to say.
Well, let's see what we've got
Um,
here.
or six or seven. I think.
He's got 4 left. 4, 5,
Okay,
6,
so
7.
okay, so there you go. I think he hasn't done much since the contract. He hasn't done a lot. Yeah, I think. Then there's you got here on Lukey, Nanai, you got
He needs
Cotter.
he needs a revamp, doesn't he?
Oh,
He needs to go.
100%.
All right, last 4 years,
But
because he can't like switch off until those last couple of years, and then he can turn into the mentor. We still need him because he's helping the young blokes. 4 years to go, you still got to be at your best.
but I don't think Peyton's the right coach for him. I think Peyton and his style, they're too opposite.
Okay.
Because since Peyton got there, he's gone a little bit shitter. But I think that's because of the style that he wants them to play. I don't think he likes him to have bursts or play a bit longer minutes, but I think Jason needs to have these 35 minutes, 30-minute bursts.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I think, yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough. I'm going to go Ruben Cotter and Tom Dearden, the new captains from Tamalolo and Townsend, wasn't it?
Yep, they both got dropped, yep.
So the two old heads handing it over, well, probably not even handing it over, having it taken away from and given to the two young blokes. I love the combination of Cotter and Dearden as the captains.
Yep.
Taking it from Townsend and Taumalolo is a bit like, oh, I hope that was done the right way, and I'm sure it was, but whatever. I think they'll be under pressure just to really lead the pack, like to lead the whole team, to show that, yeah, we're not just good players. We're not just, the next up and comers. We're actually the leaders. We're the captains. Let's go. This is where we're going, and this is how we're gonna take the team forward.
100%. I like that. Because they're good, goddamn good players, though.
They are. They're freaking good players.
Moving on to the next team, mate, the Parramatta Eels. I'm going with their captain, Clint Gufferson. I think it's another season. I think he sort of needs to lead from the front end, but he needs Moses and Dylan Brown to follow him. I think if they don't follow him, then I think they're going to have another season like they did last year, and just nothing's going to get going, and they get left behind in the later stage of the year. Good
Yeah,
player.
well,
He just needs to try and get this team going.
Yeah,
because they didn't start pretty last year.
Well, similar to that, I'm gonna go Mitch Moses. I think his job security is quite high, but again,
Contract.
And he's on plenty. But just that little combination, and to make it happen, they fell short of where they could have been last year. Obviously Dylan Brown missed a fair few games, and whatever. But I think Mitch Moses is probably the man to do it. So I think he's got a little bit of pressure on his back.
Very nice. Mate, moving on to the defending champions, Penrith Panthers. I've gone a little bit of an obvious one, I feel, maybe. I've gone Jerome Luai. I think if Penrith, Penrith have been on this top shelf for what, 3 or 4 years now.
Yeah, 4 years.
for being the top two. I think if they fall a little bit, and I'm only saying this fall to maybe fourth or fifth, so it's not a big fall. And then they get halfway through the season and they go, you know what, mate, you're off to the Tigers already. We've got a young kid here. Let's chuck him in. Let's chuck him in for half a season, give him some finals experience.
Yep.
Because really, what's the difference? He throws his toys out of the cot and goes, "Oh, fuck yous. I'm going to the Tigers next year for plenty of money. I don't need this shit."
Yep.
Mate, he could go to the Tigers early.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're right. He could be certainly. And you know what? If it were me as coach, I'd do it to a bloke like Jerome the wire. If he starts maybe underperforming a little bit, I'd just go, hey, guess what, champ? You're playing Reggie's this week.
Yeah.
And just go, I'm bringing a new bloke in because you're not going to be with us in 6 weeks' time anyway. So see ya. I'm just looking at some stats here. Losses, 2024 losses: Jack Cogger, Stephen Crichton, Zach Hosting, Tom Jenkins, Spencer Leniu, and Jamin Salmon. 5 of those blokes pretty good. I'm going to put the whole squad under pressure. Again, they've won in 21, 22, 23. As you sort of mentioned, they are under pressure to, at the very, very least, have a top 4 finish and probably make the semi-finals. I think anything less than that is a fail.
Yeah, and that's just the club standard now, isn't it, really?
That's just the club standard coming off 3 wins in a row. If they've had one win
final appearance in the year before,
and a grand final
they could have won 4.
Yep. So I think the whole squad, the whole team, the whole club is under pressure for me.
Very nice. Mate, moving on to the next club, the South Sydney Rabbitohs, and he's just sort of another fullback that just can't stay fit or keep out of trouble. He stays fit, loses weight, stays focused. He's the goddamn best fucking player in the comp. Just
he is.
But no one can keep him in line.
He's just that sort of bloke, man. He's just that bloke.
Brought his best mate. Brought his best mate, Jack Whiten, into the team. I don't know. I can see it. Mid-season scandal between both of them going somewhere.
Oh, I reckon like June long weekend, there might be a little trip away down to the farm or something. Yeah,
down to Canberra, down to their land, and yeah. But I think it's another one. If he doesn't perform, Souths aren't going to perform. It's just as simple as that. They're becoming a little bit of a one man band as well, to tell you the truth.
Yeah. So you've gone Latrell. So I'm gonna go his mate Jack Whiten. In I suppose just like securing whatever spot it is within the 17, even if he has to come off the bench, but securing that week to week and maybe sort of just proving to Canberra also that it was the right move for him. I think it's not even about proving it to South, but it's more proving it to everyone else to go, look, I made the right move. I'm still here. Even though this team was relatively stacked, I'm in the team. So, I can still do it. And he's probably going to have a positional shift away from the halves, obviously. So,
Center. They've said he's going to play center. He's suspended for the first game, but center.
So I think you'll end up, going all right.
There you go. Mate, next team is your beloved Dragons. I've gone 2 players, I've gone Ben Hunt. I think we don't really know what's going on. He's got 1 year left in his contract. I think it really depends on how they go this year or halfway through the year, what Flano thinks, what he thinks.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next player is, we talked about him earlier. We don't think he's playing in the right position, like Zach Lomax. I don't know. I think if he has a shit season, doesn't perform, like Flano's not afraid to cut people, right? He's pretty ruthless. I don't know if he'll get the blessing from the club to get rid of him, but I think they go, you know what, boys, we need to put him in reserve grade for 6 weeks and just
Well, Hook
letting
did
him
that.
figure out his
Hook did
game.
that to him last year too, and he come back and I think he played pretty well, to be honest. When he come back, he wasn't playing that bad when they dropped him, but he was making some shitty decisions, and he come back and played all right. I've gone Tyrell Sloan. This is his
Yeah,
last year on his contract. He's got to prove something for him to keep a spot, and especially if he wants to play fullback. We said before, there's a couple of blokes that could probably take his spot. Cody Ramsey gets better, gets fit. He could walk back into that team. Zach Lomax could be looking for a positional shift. There's a couple of young blokes that could, things could move around. Tyrell Sloan's under a lot of pressure, which is probably not good for him because I don't think he does well under pressure.
well, he didn't do well. He didn't do well last week under pressure. So he did.
Nah.
The thing is that he broke the line, and then it's fourth tackle, keep the ball, just chucks the ball away. It's like
throws it away.
Just yeah. So yeah, I think they're pretty easy one from the Dragons. I think you sort of look at it and go, there's only a couple of people that need to pull a finger out to make them a good team. Moving on, mate. Sydney Roosters.
Yep.
I think this is another pretty easy one to me.
Okay.
I think the local boy from out here, the aging fullback, he's only 31. Another guy that James Tedesco, I think a lot of people are proving him wrong. I think he's definitely dropped off, but I don't think he's dropped off to the stands that some people are saying. I still believe that he should be New South Wales number one at this moment, but
that's not what you said last year.
Yeah, but then he proved me wrong a bit, right? He proved me wrong a little bit, but
see what I'm dealing with here, Butlers. Honestly.
Come back to me in 6 weeks and he might not be top 10 fullback in the league. So, and that's why I'm saying under pressure. I think he's coming near the end of his contract as well.
You're an idiot. You are an idiot.
I get called out a lot, so it's nothing by me. So yeah, I think he's more under pressure to sort of maybe keep you. Well, thing is, Joseph Manu, he's going to French rugby now, so he's getting these easy outs. I think people are leaving around him, and they're probably going to extend his stage because they've got no one else.
Yeah, that's probably true because that was probably the talk, Joey Manu to fullback or Joseph Suali'i to fullback, but both of them probably moving. So, yeah. I am going with, I'm going to go two. Victor Radley needs to pull his head in and stop bashing blokes. He needs to stay on the field with less suspensions. And I'm going to go Brandon Smith. Brandon Smith signed on 800K this year, has a player option for next year. Didn't do enough for me last year coming over from the. Well, there you go. Didn't do anything. Coming from the Storm, I think it was very evident that he was a good player because of the people around him. He needs this year to go, now, you know what? I actually am a good player. Similar to a Luke Brooks. I am a good player, and this is how I'm going to show you. Because for me, look, obviously player option, if he just ticks the box, then he'll just get it. But he's probably one that can just be, Brandon, you go onto the bench, Brandon, you play in reserve grade, and they'll find someone new. The Roosters will find someone to replace you.
It's got one or two young boys that were playing last year when he was out injured / suspension. So, yeah.
Connor Watson could probably play. He's still there? He could probably play hooker. Who else could play hooker?
They got the young other Smith.
Sandon Smith. Does he play hooker?
Smith, he played a bit of hooker last year.
Yeah, he's a halfback, so he could go into number 9. Yeah, I just think you got to step up. Last team, the mighty West Tigers.
Mate. And funny enough, I don't think the big supporter of ours that is West Tigers will agree with this. Mate, I think Benji Marshall's under pressure. I think he's got to hit the ground running.
Okay.
It's going to be a massive hot take. I don't think he's a good coach anywhere. I think he's one of these players that he's probably the best West Tigers player in history. Maybe. Could probably throw a couple other players.
Yeah,
But
probably
I
is.
don't think he's one of these players that can turn into a good coach. There you go.
I
I think
disagree,
Steve.
but sure.
Well, yeah. See, that's what I mean. I don't know. I go. You're a great player. Don't wreck your legacy. Don't wreck your legacy. Going back to the club. Trying to. I just yeah. I I don't. I think he's going to be a shit coach. But what do I know? I'm just a bloke working a full-time job.
Doing a
So,
podcast on the side.
exactly.
I'm going to go similar to the Penrith Panthers. The whole club is under pressure here. They are trying with bringing Benji in. Who they bring in last year, Sheens, and then got rid of him. They've changed the board around. I think a lot of those moves are positive ones, but I think the whole club is under pressure to show even just some level of improvement, to show wins on the board, come 10th, come 12th, come 9th, whatever that looks like, get some combinations going. They've signed Luai, get something
Yeah.
sorted, get Jerome Luai in.
And
Yeah.
and this is why I think Benji's going to get a pass this year, because some of the signings aren't coming until next year.
Yeah.
I think he'll be a bit of a Serrano. I think he'll get a pass this year, and then maybe next year might get judged a little bit harsher. Then maybe in the third year, he's there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're probably not too far off with Benji being under pressure. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger and say everyone's a bit under pressure there, because that squad can be changed, so
Yep.
easily. And I don't think anyone's job security is real high at the moment. It's just, so yeah, West Tigers under pressure.
Beautiful. And there you go. That is the 17 teams of the most player/coach that we think is under pressure for the 2024 season.
Let us know what you think on the YouTube, on the DMs, on this. I'll put up a Spotify poll or question. You can let us know there. But I think we've hit the mark there pretty well,
Yeah.
to be honest,
If you've got other players, put them in the DMs. Or give us your thoughts. If you think we've forgotten someone, I think we, as you just said, man, I think we've got it pretty spot on with some of the teams that we're thinking there. So
I'm actually pretty impressed with that segment. I think we did well.
mate, I'm a good thinker. Absolutely good thinker. But mate, keep it on. Supercoach starts in 2 weeks. We've officially got our league started. It's again will be overall points for the year, no head-to-head or nothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
The league code is 647419, and when you put that in, it should come down as down the middle 2024. Press yes, get into the comp. Prizes are included, not announced yet. And also, going through the ESPN tipping once again, we'll be putting a post out, well, tomorrow, if you're listening to it, or Wednesday.
You know what?
Mate,
Whenever you're listening, check tomorrow. It'll be up.
yeah, exactly right. We'll put the link in that as well, with the password being DTM tipping.
Yeah. I'll put the links up on
We'll put the link, we'll put the
Instagram.
password.
I'll put the links on the Spotify bio, and I am creating a Facebook page as well. So I'm going to start putting some stuff onto there. Usually a little bit easier to click onto links and stuff through Facebook. So we want to get that happening, because it just annoys me that you can't put a link in an Instagram comment. That frustrates me.
Well, can't you?
No, you can't. You have to put your link in your bio for people to click on, which is just dumb. Anyway, but look around for it, battlers. Thanks for sticking around for the whole episode. But yes, we've got SuperCoach and tipping that are coming up. There'll be information everywhere you look. So just open your eyes. That's fair to say, isn't it?
I understand.
All right. We will talk to you all next week. See you, battlers.
Bears.